modern fashion designers, welcome back to class. This is Modern Woman Apparel. In today's class, we'll be making this very beautiful circle dress with a collar, and yes, I'll be attaching two side pockets to this. Now, the measurement we'll be needing for this class is the shoulder measurement. Yes, we need your armhole round. That is the chest line. You know the formula we always use to get the chest line. You need your bust circumference, and of course the length of this dress. For this, I'll be making use of 3 yards of this Ankara fabric here. So to start, I'll open up my fabric like this. This is the yardage side and this is the length of this fabric. So what I'll do is, on this yardage side, I'll fold it equally. I'll fold it into 2 equal halves. Then what I'll do next is to pick up this part here and fold it in a triangular form like this, forming a triangle. Now, for those that are confused about what we did, this is what I did. Let's assume this is my fabric, this is the yardage side, and this is the length of this fabric. So what I did is to fold this yardage side here into 2 equal halves like this. Then I pick up this folded part here, place my hand at this tip here, and turn it to give me a triangular shape. So this is exactly what we have here, as you can see. So for us to start, I'm going to turn this way so that we can start taking all our measurements. So for us to start, I want you to take note that we are cutting both the front and the back panels together, and this part here that is on fold will serve as the center of both the back and the front, while this side that is open will serve as the sides. I hope you understand. So firstly, I'm going to start by imputing my shoulder measurement. So I'm working with a shoulder of 14 inches. 14 divided by 2 will give me 7 inches. Then I'll add ½ inch to it. So from here, I'll look for where I will get 7.5 inches. So this is my point of 7.5. I'll rule a line to connect. Now what I will do next is to come down from here, from this tip here, I'll come down by 1 inch for the back and the front shoulder slope. Remember, we are cutting the two together. Now from there, I'll draw my chest line. I'll rule my chest line. So my armhole length is 9.5. How did I get it? I divided my bust circumference by 6 plus 1.5. So that will give me 9.5. I'm working with a bust circumference of 48. So from here, I'll connect to this point here. Having done this, what I'll do now is to get the basic neckline. So the neckline I'm working with for this bust circumference is 4 by 4. How did I get it? I divided the bust circumference by 12. So I'm working with a bust of 48. 48 divided by 12 will give me 4. So this 4 by 4 will serve as the front neck depth and neck width. After this, I'll connect. Remember, we're making the back, we're cutting the back panel and the front panel together. So we also come down here by 1 inch to make the back neck depth. After that, to connect. So having done this, what I'll do now is to slant this to the shoulder slope from this neckline. After that, I'll draw a line here from this point of 9.5 inches of the armhole depth. I rule a line like this to serve as a chest line. So what I will do is to come to this chest line here, divide my bust circumference by 4. I'm working with a bust of 48. 48 divided by 4 will give me 12. So this is 12 here. Then I'll add 2 inches to it, 1 inch for ease and the other inch for seam allowance. Now on this armhole line here, I'll divide the 9.5 I have here by 2. And on the midpoint, I'll make a mark there. Then from here, I'll connect to the chest line. So guys, after this, what I will do is to get the length of this dress. So the length I'm working with is 34 plus 1 inch for hemming. That will give me 35. So from this shoulder line here, I will get my 35 inches. So I'll place my tape on this shoulder line here and get my 35 inches. So after this, what I will do now is to connect from this point here. Remember this point we made here to the hem of this dress. So guys, as you can see, it's also easy. This is all for the down part. So what we're going to do now is to go up again to this upper part here. Now I'm going to be adding my joining allowance. Now I will come here. Before I cut this, I add half inch to this shoulder line here for joining allowance. Then remember, we're going to be cutting the back part first. So the back, on this back neckline here, I would add half inch for joining. So after cutting the back neckline, before I'll cut out the front neckline, I'll also add half an inch here for joining. So on this armhole line here, I will not be adding half inch to it. Remember, we added half inch to the shoulder measurement. It was 7 inches and we added half, that made it 7.5. So that covers for this area. I hope you understand. So after that, what we'll do now is to cut the whole of this out. So guys, this is what we have after cutting. But before I separate the back and the front, remember I have to separate the back in order to cut out the front neckline. So before I do that, remember I said I'll be attaching side pockets on this dress. So what I will do is to put a notch on all the parts before separating. I'll come down from this point here by 7 inches. This is 7 inches. And from this mark of 7 inches, I'll come down by another 8 inches. So this is 8 inches. That means that my pockets will start here and end here. So on this point here, I'll put a notch there. So after this, I will separate. So this is the back panel here, while this is the front panel. So this right here is the front panel. So what I will do is to add, remember I already have half inch here on the shoulder for joining, so I'll also add half inch here for joining. Now I'll cut this out. So this is what we have for the front part here. So because as you can see, we have an opening here to enable us, because this will not be having a zipper, remember. So I'll open this up here by 4 inches. So the 4 inches is going to start here. Remember, this is for joining. So I'll open a slit up to this point here. After that, what I will do is to cut out a facing for this front part here. The first one will be 2 inches below this slit. So this is it. I'll measure 2 inches here. Then I'll curve. Now I'll open up the slit. So this is it. So before we proceed to sewing, what we'll do now is to cut out the side pocket. So for the pocket, you place your fabric like this. Remember, we said it's going to be 8 inches. So by the time we take half inch here to join the two sides, we'll be having 7 inches. So this is 8 inches. Now the length of this will be 11 inches. Now you can decide to leave it in this rectangular shape, but for me, I would like to give it a little curve like this. I need 4 pieces of this. This is 2, so I'll also cut out extra 2. So guys, it's time for us to join all this together to make this complete gown. So first of all, I took this facing here. Remember, this is the front part here and this is the slit. I took this facing here to my overlock machine and sealed all the raw edges. Now what I will do is to place it here. This is the right side of this fabric here, and this is the wrong side of this fabric. So what I do is to place this right side here and the right side of this right side facing each other. So what I'll do is to take it to my sewing machine and sew with 1/4 inch seam allowance. So if you're a beginner, you can make use of 1/2 inch seam allowance. So after this, what we'll do now is to insert the side pockets. Remember, we have 4 pieces of it. This is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So what I'll do now is place this fabric here, right side facing up. This is the wrong side and this is the right side of this. Then I'll bring 1 piece of this pocket. I'll place it right side facing the right side of this fabric here. On these notches that I made here, I'll sew with 1/2 inch seam allowance just here. I'll also bring this other part here, the same right side facing each other like this. I'll sew. Remember, we have 4 parts, so 2 for the front, 2 for the back part. So I will do that and show you. After joining the back pocket to the front and the back panel, next is to join the shoulders. So I'll place this right side facing each other like this and join the shoulder with 1/2 inch seam allowance. After joining the shoulder, I'll turn this armhole here with a bias tape. After turning the armhole with my bias tape, what I'll do next is to tidy the sides. So to do that, what you're going to do is to place the fabric right side facing each other and stitch with 1 inch seam allowance. But what you're going to do is, when you get here, you will stitch to this place. From here, you get to this place, you enter in here by 1/2 inch, then you start sewing all through till you get here and you continue sewing. Please don't sew this thread, else you're going to close up this pocket. So you sew from here by 1 inch, then enter here by 1/2 inch, get to this part and continue sewing with your 1 inch seam allowance. You do that to this side and to the other side. After that, you hem the down part. To do that, what I will do is take this to my overlocking machine, search the edges, then turn it like this. Just fold it once and stitch all through. After joining the sides, this is what I have. As you can see, this is the pocket. Now what we'll do next is for us to cut the collar. But before we do that, what we're going to do is to measure this neck round. Place your tape here and measure round the neckline. So you can see what I have here is 22.25. So we're going to cut a collar of 22.25. To do that, I have this piece here, which I placed on fold. Now, because I'm cutting the two sides, that is the one for the main fabric and the one I'll be using for lining, I'll put these on fold like this and also turn it this way. Now I'll start taking my measurement. Remember, we measured 22.25. Because this thing is on fold here, we're going to get half of it. So I'll come here. This is 11.1. Now I'll add ½ inch to it for joining. So on this 11.1 line, I'll get the midpoint. Which is here. After getting the midpoint, I'll come to this line here, not on this seam allowance line, please. I'll go up by 0.75. 0.75, and I'll connect back to this point here. Now the length of this collar is 1.5 inches, but because I need ½ inch up here and ½ inch down, which is 1 inch, I'll be making this 2.5 inches. So here 2.5, I'll go up here by 2.5 inches. Then I'll connect. So after this, what I will do is to come here and go in by 1 inch. Then connect like this. Just to give me a curve there. So our collar is ready. What I will do now is to cut this out. So this part here, this curved part here will be the upper part. Will be facing up, while this straight part here, this part here will be facing down. I hope you understand. So after this, what I will do now is to iron my hairstay interfacing to both pieces. So as you can see, I have ironed my hairstay interfacing to the both pieces. So what I also did is to fold down ½ inch. So this is the part I'll be joining to the dress. Now on this part here that will be going up, what I'll do is to fold this right side facing each other, turn this right side facing each other, then sew from here, from this ½ inch line here, all through to this ½ inch line here. So this is it. After sewing, I also made tiny notches here. So what I'll do now is to flip it to the right side and give it a good press. After that, I'll pick up this dress here, turn it to the wrong side, then I'll notch the midpoint. I also notch the midpoint of this collar. Then I'll place it here. I'll place the midpoint of the collar to the midpoint of this dress here, and I'll pin it down. Then I'll take it to my sewing machine and sew to the end of the neckline. So I will do that and show you. After stitching, this is what I have. Remember, the wrong side of this dress is facing the right side of this collar. To finish this up, what I'll do is just, remember this is the right side, so I'll just fold this in here like this. Fold this ½ inch in, and top stitch on the right side, making sure that all these raw edges are inside this collar. So guys, as you can see, we are done fixing the collar. Everything is looking so beautiful. What I'll do next is to put this on my mannequin. Let's see what we have. Guys, as you can see, our gown is looking so beautiful. Please do not forget to like, comment and share. And if you're yet to subscribe, please subscribe to this channel for more interesting videos. I'll see you in my next class. Thank you. Bye for now.